Hobson's pledge, Elliot Ikilei, I think, is with me now. Elliot, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you, Leah? Very good to be here.
Oh, look at you. Every time I see you, you've got your high-vis vest on. Geez, am I getting you off a stop-go sign or something?
Yeah, close enough, close enough.
Close enough. All right, my friend. Look, first I want to talk the carnage within Te Pāti Māori. Going back, Eru Kapakingi, who leads Toitu Te Tiriti, that racist activist group, who split from TPM, saying it was a dictatorship. What did you make of that, Elliot? Because is there a division of power in the party? Who is the boss? Who wants to be the boss?
Oh, yeah, I mean, this is an absolute mess, but I think it was probably an expected mess. I mean, you've got extremists in there. So whenever you deal with extremist personalities,
Yeah.
it's always going to come to a head. And this is where you can have that humorous idea of the left eating itself.
Yeah.
But when extremists have combined with extremists, you'll find that they find it very easy to group together very quickly, but you'll find that it will always turn into a bit of a bloodbath at the end of it. This is why, for example, conservatives and right wingers, and that I might not like very many of David Seymour's policies, but we're on the same ideological group. So there's an idea that we respect each other's differences and we can engage in that. Extremists don't work that way. So it's always going to come into that. You've got obviously links within family links. You've got iwi links in there, hapu links, and all of them are very much competing. But that extremist edge is what was always going to be basically a laceration, an ideological laceration of camaraderie and togetherness.
Yeah, well said. And then this week, the revelations that on the budget day 2024, Eru is alleged to have called a parliamentary security guard after he kind of went in behind somebody else, not bothering to use his own card, which was quite strange. Words as in, effing white bald head C-bomb, a piece of threatened to effing knock you out. Now, the guard doesn't allege Eru Kapakingi physically assaulted anyone, but claims he came close despite absolutely no provocation. Now, I said this, Elliot, yesterday on my show. Why is this guy still walking around? I mean, why are the police not? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they have, but no, I don't think they have. Why is he allowed to still just, walk around and talk to people like that?
Leah, this speaks to a greater issue within the ideology of the left. We've seen, for example, violent outcalls from Chloe and the Greens, that whole from the river to the sea, which is very clearly a genocide call. We've seen them referring to conservatives and right-wingers, libertarians as fascists, Nazis, and these very highly charged emotive words. Now, they're not there, but this is what has led to things such as physical attacks, physical assaults, Posey Parker, Charlie Kirk assassination. So this is one of those ones where the left are having a tendency to just go into violence mode and very much a fomenting of violent speech, which then goes into violent action. The idea of Eru is that this is not unusual for these extremists. And again, you've got a combination there of the neo-tribalists as well as that far leftist ideology. They want what they want, and if you do not accept it, then you are to be violently taken care of. There's a sense that that's what the narrative is. The commentary is disgusting. It's really disgusting.
Yes.
And when you think about I don't understand how he's still got any type of privilege to be able to access what should be one of the safest locations in the country.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I mean, these are some basic vetting forms. I mean, and let's not forget, he was also, I believe, at one point calling out David Seymour for a physical, violent altercation.
That's right.
I mean, how do you have this in a society that purports to be rule of law, a nation of laws where we try to keep our people safe? And what he's doing is shocking, not surprising, but threatens the very stability of our democratic principles themselves if he's allowed to continue to get away with this.
And yes, very good points. And what's disturbing to me too, Elliot, is there are probably young Māori that look up to him and could emulate what he is saying and the way his rhetoric. I mean, you and I follow the certain same people on social media, and I've seen what you've reposted, and I've seen there's a I've had her on the show, Auntie Hey here, and she is just absolutely getting the most horrible Māori who are saying these. You think what he said was bad. I mean, it is up there with what Eru said. And it's scary, Elliot. And she's taking, this is what they're dropping into her DMs and talking about her on TikTok. And that's what scares me, is this kind of talk from the Eru Kapakingis, Marameno, although she hasn't gone this far, but she has said some very bad things. The younger Māori are following this. And I've got to be honest, I'm surprised we have not seen some violence out there, because they're talking about it.
And a lot of,
they
are. As you said, Auntie Hey Greener has, she's got messages of sexual assault attacks on her family, her home, and is very constant. I've had similar ones. I haven't had the sexual assault ones, but I've had the other ones.
Wow.
But a lot of that's because we haven't yet gone fully out there, and there have been some warnings about us being able to articulate and get into discussions personal with people. I'm trying to get together, for example, a debate at Waikato University. Now, first off, Māori Party are proving difficult to say yes to any sort of a discussion. Also, the University of Waikato are not keen on a debate on it. But there's been concerns around being able to even have that because of the security risks. We haven't yet gone, so that's partly because we just haven't gone to those spaces. We are going to have to. The conservatives, the libertarians, the right-wing people, and the left-wing, we need to be able to have a strong kōrero, kanohi ki kanohi, face-to-face, in a group, whatever. But we actually must engage in some form of public debate so that the violence factors don't push into action. This is what we must do. We've got to somehow engage in discourse and discussion. And Leah, what you're doing on the platform is absolutely part of what we need. But we need to be physically there, risking safety, but to bring speech and talking. And as Charlie Kirk always said, when talking stops, violence starts. And that's exactly what we will see if we don't do something about that soon.
Yeah. Have not what's going on with Te Pāti Māori, have they not handed the Labour Māori caucus an absolute gift with their infighting? Yet Willie Jackson and co are silent just 1 year out from the election. If Labour was serious about winning back Māori seats, they should be taking full advantage of this opportunity, surely.
I think they're being very clever. I think they're being very pragmatic. They're sitting back, and I think they're realizing that Te Pāti Māori have gone into some heavy-duty economic freedom fighter, Jason Julius Malema style of racism. If they are quiet, and if they just step back, just be quiet, and let their opponents, their effective opponents, run themselves into a shocking corner where even their own followers will start going, oh my gosh, this is just too far, then the Labour Māori caucus can show themselves up as being a more moderate centre. And at that point, they'll be able to be more gentle, at the same time protecting their relationships with them. Because I think they're being very clever. Not great, but clever.
I mean, can you imagine how hard it is for Willie Jackson to bite his tongue? I mean, goodness me, he must be putting a mouth guard in, because that man can run his mouth, let me tell you.
Well, he is. I'm looking forward to the day where I can sit down with a cup of tea with Willie Jackson, who said he wants to have a cup of tea with me, because he was for charter schools, and then he was directly opposed to charter schools. Then he was opposed to Te Pāti Māori extremism, and then he's for it. Now he's trying to be quiet. He flips flop more than a Jandals. He just flips. He's an ultimate flip flopper.
Jandals on the beach. Last I saw him, he said to me, hey girl. And I was like, Willie. And he goes, what's wrong with you? I hear you're angry with me. And I said, well, you called me a plastic Māori. He's like, well, you know how he does. I said, no.
Well, Matt, I tell you what, him and his private school education, living in his own life of privilege and luxury. I'm sorry, bro. Willie Jackson, you cannot say nothing, man. You ain't got nothing there, my man.
Exactly. Can we talk about Oreni Kaipara? She was censored for going over her time in her maiden speech. There was a haka as well. Although the Speaker of the House said that he had no problem with the haka, but now he says he's going to effectively clean up the House, how they all dress, how much time MPs take off. and the like. I mean, is this is long overdue, Elliot, in your mind?